Spencer's going to stream at 9, and then I'll rate him at 10. And then I'll watch the last 10 minutes of the game. Yay. Maybe last 30 minutes. Something.
Okay, did you want to do our games?
Do I? We're not gonna take
Put
it.
a little marker. So we'll do your round. What is it?
Well, my games are done. We'll just do yours.
Oh, when did you do the rest?
No, I'm not. The last 4 games were all 10 move draws.
Oh.
I'm not looking at those. I have a 25 move draw, but I don't care about that game.
Okay, so this is round what?
5 for you, and she didn't play round 3. She got a bye, so she has 6 games, and I had 9, but my game is all terrible.
5. Karen. Yeah, YouTubers, which I don't blame them. Yeah, they don't like my games as much as yours, but we're gonna do it anyway. Here we go. We still need to do a NordVPN ad, but after this game. Ben, so this is the Chicago Open that we recently played in. My game, I was in the under 1700 section. So I was playing up a bit. My rating was like the low 1200s. And I gained 90 points from the tournament.
Look how I spelled the names right.
I'm back in the 13s again.
I did good with the names. So at this point, Karen has 2 losses, a draw, and a full point bye. This is round 5. Karen's white, even though Karen Black is famous.
This game's embarrassing. This guy crushes me. Thank you, Wally. Yeah, this guy, but I end up winning, but he's just crushing me. I didn't play very well to begin with.
That's unusual.
Then I had to work really hard to get, luckily you'll see what happens.
Yeah, you want to play c4 early here, because if he plays e6, he's weakening his dark squares and he's blocking his bishop. He doesn't want to play e6 and g6.
Oh, I see.
So c4, knight c3, etc.
Okay.
Okay, you played here, and you played c4. Good. Then you play bishop e2. You want to play knight c3, put pressure on here immediately.
Yeah.
Bishop e2, if he takes, you have to move your bishop again.
Yeah.
So better to play knight here and put pressure right away. Okay, bishop e2. Then you castled. Played h3.
And I made a blunder in a moment. It's terrible.
So if you play knight c3, you don't have to worry about this, because you could castle or play rook c1. So this loses a tempo.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. Then you played this. Yeah, you're much better here.
Yeah, everything was fine.
Then you castled. And he took. And you took. Good. And he took this. You play queen a4, which is the engine move. Okay, good. Knight d5. Yeah, it wants you to take on d5 and then play queen b5, threatening all of his pawns. Knight takes, pawn takes,
I don't
queen
even remember
b5.
what I did.
You moved your bishop back.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I did
says
that.
you have a winning advantage if you take queen here, because your bishop's so good. But after moving your bishop back, now he has knight b6. Now you're only slightly better.
Right, yeah. And then I couldn't take the pawn. Yeah, this is where I made the mistake. All of this was a mistake.
It says queen c2, knight takes a4, queen a4. b4, queen c2. Okay, so I'm going to guess all your moves are typos, and you meant to write a6 down. Knight a4, queen a4, b4. Probably you meant b5. Then queen d7. Yeah. Okay, so you didn't write down a6.
Can you, is there a pen down
No,
here?
there never is.
Darn.
So you played ace, but I'm gonna send you the game so
Okay.
you'll be able to
Yeah, I
fix it.
can fix it, yeah. Okay, now you played ace, but we're gonna I'm gonna send you the game so you'll be able to fix it.
Okay, now you played knight a4, which isn't good. Okay, now you played knight a4, which isn't good. Okay, now you played knight a4, which isn't good. Okay, now you played knight a4, which isn't good. Yeah, you can either play knight b1 to d2, or you can take this and triple his pawns. Either way, you're better. You played here. Now it's equal, it
Yeah,
says.
why didn't I think to triple his pawns?
He took, you took. This is also good for you.
All right.
b5, queen c2, queen d7. Yeah, here you got his knight like on the double up on the bubble up. So he can't move his knight because you take his rook.
All right.
So you can play b3 here, and he can't take your pawn because you take this knight. So b3 just gets your pawn back. Then you have a big advantage. See, if he takes, you win a knight. If he doesn't take, you take. The engine wants him to sack the exchange with knight a5, sacking the exchange. Then you take on c4, then you take on a8. So here with all your pins and tricks, the b3 is good for you. Okay, you played here. Rook a d8. Still b3 is the right move. You played queen e4, and he saw it. Now it says you're down a pawn. Rook d2. c5 is good. It doesn't like rook d2 because your rook's not defended. Then you defended it, and he hopped in here. Man, it says you're really lost.
Yeah, it was bad.
Like more lost than lost.
Oh, this is where it all went downhill.
Knight d4. King, you put it in h. It says f5 is good. Then e5. Okay, but he's good anyway. Played here. You played rook d2. That's correct. He took. You took. And now he made a slight tactical mistake. He played bishop takes b2. He probably saw rook takes and forgot your queen was defending your rook. Or he didn't see rook takes. That's one of them. I don't know which one. Yay.
I'm not sure what his thinking was, but I was so
So
happy.
he went from +7 to now you're up 1.2.
I think he just didn't see my queen was defending the rook.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now you're winning. Yay. Queen d1. Then he took this. And now he doesn't have 9 pawns for a piece, so she's winning. Played rook c2. You don't want your rook behind these pawns. You want him like on this side over here. Active. So you should play rook d2. Rook c2, I understand. Then you play queen a1. I like it. It says this is equal. I like queen a1. Now he played queen c8, which is a strange move because the d file is open. So he should play rook d8. Queen c8. Now it wants you to get your bishop into the game. And you did. So you got your bishop defending these pawns, but you need to attack his king because he doesn't have a dark squared bishop and you do. So you need to start attacking. So the engine wants you to play bishop here, and then mate. Get your bishop in there, attacking his king.
I thought he could defend it, but I don't remember now. Because I looked at that during the game.
Right, that's the idea, is to make him push his pawns and open up his king.
Oh, okay.
But you made your bishop sort of passive.
Yeah.
Wait, he played rook e8? I wouldn't even think of that move. I wouldn't think of it. Okay, well, that's not as good as rook d8. Okay,
Yeah, I wasn't sure why I went there.
Then you went here. He played e5. That's reasonable. It wants you to play rook a2 and take this pawn. That seems like a good idea. Yeah, that's funny. Rook a2, then after rook e6, then you play rook d2 and take the d file. You played queen e1. He played f6. Now, you see how it says you're up 1.6?
Yeah.
Okay. f6 is bad because it opens up his king in his 7th rank. So it's going to be higher when he plays that. I have spoken. I can't see one move ahead, but I understand chess. So this is going to be plus 3.1. Well, what if I'm wrong?
Yeah,
I'll look quite silly.
It was a lot of pawns.
Yeah, you shouldn't play f6. Ready?
Uh-huh.
Give it a second. It only says 2.2. Oh, it's a depth 23. So depth 24. It's probably not going to get to 3.1. So it only thinks it's a little bad,
Yeah.
but it's very bad. 2.24. If it was like a better engine and it was thinking like at 60 CPU, then something. See, 2.5. Okay, you played Queen E3. Now, when you were playing this game and I was watching you, every move I was like, play Rook D2 and take the D file. And then I don't know if you ever did. You got to take that D file. Yeah, you played Rook. I remember this position specifically. You played Rook B2. I was like, no, you can't play Rook D2 because he checks you. So that was good that you didn't hang your bishop.
Right.
E4 is a terrible move. See, it says you're up 0.5. After E4, that makes your bishop a lot better. It gives away the D4 square. So this is going to be really bad. See, it says right now it says 0.65. Now it says +3 because that's bad. That makes your bishop really good.
Okay.
So this is something that's hard to understand for low-rated players. So have a seat if you're watching, because I don't want you to like fall or you're too much for your brain. Okay, go see the new Top Gun movie. That's about your level. Okay, so a lot of low-rated players put their pawns on the opposite color of the bishop so the bishop can't take anything, and that's 100% wrong. You want your pawns on the same color so the bishop's no good. So for example, if we put the black pawns here where they belong, white's bishop can't do anything. White's bishop has nowhere to go. It's trapped, even though it's black's trapping it. With the pawns on white squares, that helps the bishop. So if I was black, I would move back here.
So with regards to what you're saying, which makes sense, but whenever all the pieces come off the board, for example, let's say you each have a bishop and pawns, then you need to put them on the opposite. It's still the same?
It's the same, yeah.
Huh.
You always want your pawns on the color of your opponent's bishop so the bishop can't do anything. Here, your bishop is too good. Now,
well, they can take them, get behind them.
Obviously, if they
sometimes.
take them, that's bad. But well, listen.
All right.
Listen. I'm the one who says a piece is worth 9 pawns. Do other good players say that? No, I'm the only one. Now, let's analyze this position. How many pawns does black have for a piece?
And actually, I don't know. I was thinking about my other game. My game my last round game where it's bishops and I have the knight and he has a bishop. I mean, it was a problem that I had those pawns on the dark squares.
Oh, did you lose that game?
No, that's my point. Is I don't think the rule necessarily applies to the end game when all the pieces are off.
No, it does. Yeah, that was good. If your pawns were on other squares, his king would have walked in. You stopped his bishop and king.
Right.
That was good.
I know.
Okay, now let's get back to this. And when you played B5, that was a really bad move in that game because you gave him you want him in the same colors as bishop, and then he had bishop C5 and king C5.
I can't remember the exact
Okay,
position.
now remember I say a piece is worth 9 pawns, and everybody laughs at me. Okay, now we'll see who's laughing.
This was the greatest bishop of all
Okay,
time.
how many pawns does he have for a piece? I'll let you count them all.
Let's
See how my nails look.
So 4 pawns.
4. So according to like books you've read and people you've spoken to, black's better. 4 pawns for a piece, 3 connected passed pawns. Okay, what's the engine say?
Plus 4.6 for black.
No, for white.
Oh, is that a plus?
Plus.
I can't see from here.
Yeah.
I mean for white.
Right. So white's up 4.6. So if we gave black 4.6 more pawns, it would be equal. 9 pawns for a piece. I have spoken. So the engine thinks black's position's resignable here, and black has 4 pawns for a piece. That's why you should never sack a piece. This guy didn't sack a piece. He blundered a piece. That's okay. That's the problem that you guys have. When I sack a piece, I'm usually correct because I don't like sacking a piece. I hate it. So when I do it once a year, it's usually right because, you should do it like once a year. When you guys sack a piece, it's wrong because you did it. And then you already blundered a piece because, stuff happened before we didn't talk about. Now you're down 2 pieces and you have no compensation. And you're like, but I have a couple of pawns and I have an attack and I have a dumb voice. Nobody likes me and I'm ugly. and my wife left me, and I made it up. I don't have a wife. That's what you guys are always saying.
Hey, but let's keep going.
Okay. Notice how you're up 4.5. And remember I told you that was a terrible move?
Yes.
I told you not to put your pawns on this color, and you argued with me. He put his pawns on that color, and now you're up 4.5.
I'm not arguing about this
Now, what we could do is I
all.
could put the pawns back here. Then it's going to say black's better.
Yeah, I didn't argue about this game at all.
Right.
I was talking about the other game.
No, that also you shouldn't have played b5 that game. Oh, God. Okay, which is why you should leave it on the dark square. Okay, so e4's bad. You played king g1. That's a high-class move. It's not a good move, but it's high class. He played queen e5, forcing your bishop to a better square. Good. Queen doesn't want the d file. Queen e6. Good. Yeah, now you got to play here without thinking. You got to get active pieces.
Right.
You have to get active
That's
pieces.
been the same story for the last several
But you
moves.
played here, too passive. King f7, walking his king up into the attack. Good. Then you went here because you didn't play there just to make me feel bad. Okay, rook e1. Then you played here.
I don't know why I did it that way.
No, that's what I want you to do. I want you to get your...
I said I don't know why I did it that way.
Now it
Why I
says
went to E1
bishop
first.
b4. You typoed rook d7 for bishop. Oh, no. He made a move. Then you played bishop b4. Then he played rook d7. So I have to figure out what move he made. I'll never figure it out.
What did I write?
You wrote that black played bishop b4 here. So obviously you played bishop b4.
Oh, okay.
So we're missing black's move.
Oh, I see.
I'm trying to figure out what it was. It wasn't f5 because he played f5 later. Right. Okay. And it wasn't one of these pawns. And it wasn't this pawn. So did he play... he played g4 later. Ooh. So that means maybe he played g5 here.
What about H5?
I don't know. I've lost my position. No. He played h5, then he played g4. So he must have played g5 by the process of me figuring it out. Then you played here, then he blundered a pawn, and the engine says him blundering a pawn is correct. Because if he moves his rook to a normal square, you play rook d6 and you're crushing him. Because you're going to attack this pawn and this pawn and this pawn. So he played here, which is correct, losing his e-pawn. Okay, now you're up 3.5. Okay, now let me get to this position. Then he played here, defending his h-pawn. You played queen a8. Now the engine wants you to play g4, because then your king has an extra square on the diagonal. Your king can go to g2 and your queen stopping the checks.
Right.
And you're fixing this pawn on f6 so you can attack it later. But you played queen here, also good. He played king g6. It says he should play h5, also losing this pawn. So you took. Then he played h5. Yeah, that's right. Bishop c3, that's a good move. Queen f5 is the engine move. Queen c6 is a very good move. g4, h4. Man. So you guys at home, you're like, well, I think, and you have trouble saying the next word because you're so dumb. I think a piece is worth 3 pawns. Yeah, 3. Right, that's what you guys say at home. Here, black has 2 pawns for a piece, and it says white's +7. You also learn to speak better. Okay, so you put it in H. Now he played a move that shocked you, B4. He was like, if you take, I'll check and win your bishop. He shouldn't have said that, because you would have, Okay, so then it says you played queen E8 check, and then queen takes B4. So I think we missed a couple of moves here. I think he played here, and you checked him, and then you played queen takes B4. Yeah. Okay, then queen here, then you got some luft. By the way, it says you're plus 8.5 here. Mm-hmm. Okay, G3, he checked you, and you saw it. And then he played here with this threat. And you didn't see that, so it was a draw. No, you have mate in 10 here with queen b6, it says. Look how the game could have ended immediately. Queen here defends that. You agree. Mm-hmm. Unstoppable queen f6.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So queen b6 would be the super GM move. Attacking and defending. But you played here, which also wins immediately. Then you played here. Then he played f5. I was sitting watching the game from the corner. I was watching. And when he played f5, I've never been so mad at somebody who was going to lose to my wife. I was like, f5, are you losing on purpose?
I was so happy.
f5.
I was surprised.
God,
What
damn.
is going on?
The engine goes from +6 to exploding. Man. Okay, now the engine's smoking a cigarette. Wow. Okay, queen d6 check. King f7. Oh yeah, in this position, when I was watching, I thought queen d5 was double X-clam. I thought there was no way to stop mate because you're threatening queen g8. But actually, queen a7 threatens queen g7 mate, which I didn't see. Man, if he stops queen g7 mate, he's better than me. Queen a7, very geometric.
Darn.
But I'm guessing my move is really good too, because I got to guess something. But it doesn't matter. Yeah. Your position's so good, you can make any move and you win. That's how good it is. You played this check. That's good. Then you played bishop c5. That's the best move. Then you played queen e6. That's good. Then you played queen e7. That's good. These are all the best moves. Queen f8. That's good. Queen f7. That's good. And then I was really proud of you in this position. I was thinking to myself, bishop e7, bishop e7, bishop e7. Then you played bishop e7.
I thought about it for a couple of minutes.
The engine says this is mate in 12 to take this.
I thought about it. I thought there's got to be a mate here. Let me just look.
Bishop e7, then he resigned.
Yeah.
That game you played great after you took his bishop. You were like always winning after
Then
that.
I was doing better.
Right after you took
Yeah,
his
that guy was 16 something. All of my opponents but one were 16 something rated.
Yeah, pieces are worth more than pawns. Shocking. Yay, and you beat a guy whose name you can't pronounce. By the way, the guy's name is very similar to Louis C.K.'s actual name, because Louis C.K. has a Hungarian name for obvious reasons, and it's spelled Szekely. And there's actually an I.M., R.I.P., who had that name. And the pronunciation in English is close to C.K., not Zekely, which you would say if you were American like me. You would say C.K., because it's Czech or Hungarian. And this guy's name is very similar to that. So this guy's probably Hungarian.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Thank you, Wally. Yeah, maybe the game wasn't as bad. I tend to be hard on myself.
No, you play good.
But,
Oh, downloads the wrong thing.